In this video, we're going to talk about 5 different ways you could break into data analytics without any technical background. Let's get right into it. How's it going, everyone? My name is Chris French, a former middle school math teacher, now data analyst. And as the title said, I'm going to show you the 5 different ways that I tell people when it comes to breaking into data analytics and they don't come from a technical background. The first way are going to be the certifications that you receive. I want to make sure that there's a difference between the certifications and certificates. An example is the Google Data Analyst Certificate is not one I'm talking about. Certifications from Tableau and Microsoft are 2 examples that I highly recommend because 1, they're universally accepted, and 2, they actually hold weight when it comes to applying for jobs. Now, they are more exam focused, so the price tag could be anywhere from $150 to around $500. And it can be a little bit difficult, especially if you don't have that much experience using Tableau or Power BI. Could be, like I said, a little difficult. However, it's definitely something that can be really great to have on your resume. 1 second, I just got a sip from the greatest mug in the world right here. The second way is having an amazing data analytic portfolio. What I mean by that is having around 3 to 4 high-quality projects showing off your technical abilities like using Excel, Tableau, Power BI, SQL, Python, but also showing off your thought process from beginning to end. Because you're getting into a situation where you have less experience than other people applying for the job, you have to really think, how can I overcome that? What can I do to get past that barrier to show that I am more than capable to do the job? What makes a high-quality project is much more than just a flashy Tableau dashboard or crazy amounts of SQL code. It's really the thought process from beginning to end. Really make that the biggest emphasis when you're putting together your projects. Trying to keep your projects focused on more real-world issues or business solutions or problems is definitely something I would focus on, because the way you put together your projects, the way you put it all together, will make it very realistic, so then when you get into the interview process, your thought process will line up very well with what the company needs. A third way is having a well-crafted resume. Even in the past year, from the amount of resumes I've seen things go from 1 page to 4 pages. I've seen tons of different fonts, tons of different structures. It's really important to know that a well-structured resume goes a very, very long way in the application process. Making sure your resume has all the necessities, like a skill section, summary, portfolio link, well-crafted experience section with lots of metrics, are some of the parts that can be very important to your resume. Because when you're putting in that resume for a job, most of these jobs have hundreds of applicants going for them. So making sure that you have the best resume possible can really put you ahead of lots of other applicants. The fourth way, which in my opinion is the most important one, is going to be networking. Around the time last year is when I started using LinkedIn, when I had no connections, no followers, no one really to go to in the data industry. Being a former teacher, it was very uncomfortable in the beginning because I'm so used to, if a school needs a teacher, I just show up, do a quick interview, and most likely could get the job right there and then. So just understanding how the industry worked, how the interview process worked, what a resume should really look like, is something I would have never done if it wasn't for my networking and the connections I made along the way. Especially in this day and age, the year 2023, utilizing a site like LinkedIn to be able to network with people, get more informed about the industry, is something that really should be almost like a borderline necessity in how this current market is going and how the industry will be in the next 5-10 years from now. The amount of opportunities that can be found on even a site like LinkedIn, from messaging hiring managers, recruiters, people who work in companies you're interested in, or just people in general who are also looking for data jobs. It's an amazing way to gain perspective, but also comfort knowing that the industry you're going into is something you want to be a part of for a very, very long time. I was able to land multiple interviews just by using LinkedIn, by making content, commenting on people's posts, reaching out to people in messages. There's lots of opportunities that could come up by just being a little outgoing and putting yourself out there for others. Now, a person like me, I could tend to be a little bit shy, a little bit reserved. So definitely in the beginning, I can't lie at all. It was very difficult. It was very difficult to get on every day and be like, okay, you gotta get on this website. You gotta go talk to people that you don't know, but you want a job. And I think that if you have that burning passion, you'll get past that barrier. And once you do, you get fairly comfortable meeting new people, understanding more about the industry, and just motivates you way more to want to get that job. And the fifth way, this might not be the most favorite one, but it could be an option, is getting a non-data job in a company you do want to be a part of. At least in my situation, being a former teacher, making around $41,000 a year, I found out that most corporate jobs would at least pay that or more. So I knew that, at least from my situation, I was very willing to take a job in a company like where I'm at right now, Cigna. I would be okay taking a job at Cigna that might not be in data, but paid okay, that could lead to a data analyst job, put in about a year or so of time, and then I could make that internal jump. It's of course not what anyone wants to do. The whole point is that you want to get into data analytics as soon as possible. But of course, depending on your situation, you might be like, okay, I only have a certain amount of time to look for a job, then I have to get a job. And if that is the situation, I think getting into a company you really want to be a part of and then moving internally is way, way easier than trying to move into the company externally. I've had a lot of people reach out to me, especially working at Cigna. People want to get into the healthcare industry, and they ask, oh, how'd you do it? I want to get into that too. And I tell them all the time, of course, you try your very, very best to want to get the job you deserve. I tell that to everyone. Everyone deserves to get the job that they want. However, if push comes to shove and you want to at least get into the company, take a role that could lead to a data analyst role, and then in a year or so, move internally, and then you're pretty much all set. You basically just went through almost like a year paid internship, should I say. You're in the company you want to be part of. You get their benefits and everything, and you're getting paid, hopefully decently, and then it could lead to something better in a year, and then you're set. Of course, it is possible to break into the industry without any experience like myself, but I know for some people, depending on their timeline, that might not be the case. Getting some of that corporate experience also on your resume could make it easier in the future. So like I said, if you're having that trouble, if you've been looking for a long, long time and you feel you're doing everything right, you're using LinkedIn, you have a great resume, your projects are perfect, then we might have to think of another plan just for now. I will admit the Q4 2023 job market is not looking that great, especially on an entry-level, mid-level market perspective. However, the people who are getting the jobs are the ones that are not doing the status quo, the ones who are doing anything but ordinary. If you really want to get into this industry, you're going to keep telling yourself that just sitting around applying for jobs over and over and over again, it's probably not going to be the best use of your time, but also the best use to get into the industry. My advice is to continue thinking outside the box, thinking how can I stand out from the crowd, and using these 5 different ways to really make that stand out the most. I hope you found this video helpful, and I'll see you on the next video.